Hi guys, it's Barry Drennan here again, Protocol H2H. Uh, we're going to go off center again. What we're talking about now is biting. Alright, we know that biting is a wonderful thing and so much stuff out there about it. That is this negative, that negative, blah blah blah. We know Fairbairn advocated biting. I've been biting since I was about 14 years old in fights. It's always been a wonderful thing. I know exactly the response I'm going to get. It's quite spectacular. I've used it against small guys. I've used it against big guys, and it's good. There's some fake stuff. I tried to bite the flesh right out of a guy one time. Got him on the arm and got him with the fang, but I wasn't able to detach a piece. But it did screw him up enough that he needed medical attention for about 3 months after that. I know that because I actually knew the nurse that was treating him. Anyway, so it's a kind of an abstruse methodology, and maybe people don't like, they're not comfortable with it. People talk about AIDS transfer and blood and all this type of stuff, and I've never seen blood with regard to it. Maybe if I bit the lips or something around there, I might get it. Up here, I get it, I think, which would be good targets. But for me, anytime that I'm involved in violence, I'm putting my safety, immediate safety, ahead of the potential of any of those things. You know, I might get AIDS. If I die of AIDS, at least I'll die years later as opposed to today. So that's all good. So, you know, this type of thing. But I just want to go over biting a bit. Now, as I just mentioned, biting pieces are really, really good. Up here it bleeds like a pig, and it bleeds into the eye. As I've just mentioned, I haven't been it there myself yet because I just haven't been that opportunity. Ask Mike Tyson about ears. You can watch Oliver I forget the boxer's name, the fellow he boxed with. He's bugging me because he's right on the back of my tongue. But his reaction is dramatic, and he's a professional boxer. He's used to getting hit in pain and stuff. Dramatic response. Same thing if you bite an ear in the nose, and if you know. So beautiful stuff. But where I find biting comes most handy is in the arms and the face. Anytime. Even the chest. Anytime you're in this proximity to a person, there's a very good opportunity to bite. If you bite, you will disrupt his thinking. He will go from plan A to abstract. He will go into survival mode. Now, like when you stab somebody in the eyes with your fingers, and biting's the same, he is going to go berserk. He's going to go out of his mind. I call it the funky chicken. First as a response, and then as a method of recovery, meaning that he thinks he's in shit now, which is great because that scrambled his brain. He's now thinking abstract as opposed to planned and progressive, meaning that he's working his way through the momentum and understanding what he's doing. He's more wild. And that's to my advantage. So that's a good thing, and plus it'll do wonders for breaking holes and stuff like that. But if you bite him here, he'll react, which then allows this really well. It helps set things up. It frees him. If somebody grabs you and you rotate in and bite, you know, getting into that meat there, the radial nerve area, the muscle, again, very, very good, and definite reactions, and it's a retraction action. It's a reflex which occurs in the spine, not the brain. It's a reflex, which is wonderful because it's a retraction as opposed to a push. It's unlikely it's going to happen. Only he may hit you and retract, but he's going to retract. So that's wonderful. Into the chest area, into the meat of the pectoral here, this area is good, and the shoulder, that's all good. And again, retraction comes off of that. But always the thing that happens is that brain, the brain just can't understand it. And it has such a hard time dealing with it, and it really goes reptilian. It really goes into like a frenzy. You better be ready for the frenzy, because don't think that he's going to be, running off afraid or the fight's over. This is going to jack him up, boy. but it's gonna get things done. And if you're prepared for that and you know what you're doing, you got some options in place, it's okay. You'll be able to take care of yourself. You'll handle yourself. Into here, same thing. If I bite him here, he'll rotate away, you know, which gives me an ear. You know, I always tell people, we don't try to do combinations where one sets up the next. We don't do that. We look for opportunity. We recognize targets. The second he turns, oh, okay, ear, bang, bang, in that fashion. Those two different methods. We recognize target. But when we're doing the bite, we recognize targets just as well. So we're going to bite, and then we're going to see those targets, and we're going to move with that. And so the same thing. So we bite there. So anywhere along top of the arm here is what you're going to get advantage of. Into the muscle here a little bit. But usually this is the area. And then up into here, the chest muscle, all this meat you can get out here, and this, and then into the side of the face and in the cheek area, it's all good. Anywhere where you can pinch and compress meat is a good place to bite. And all the time, the reaction is the same. Back in the days when I was doing Krav Maga, which I don't do anymore, I do only Fairbairn now. It's been over 14 years now. I just do Fairbairn, specifically and purely. They would say that in disarms, they would bite into here, into the muscle group here, or into the back of the thumb here, on occasion, you know. But it was funny to hear them mentioning that, considering Krav Maga. But anyway, so it's just something that is so natural, and when you're all locked up and tied, it's the one thing that's always free. In martial arts, I've even used it with gi fighting when we were engaged in grappling, and what I did was I brought the fellow's arm across, bit the sleeve, held the sleeve in my teeth, which locked his arm in, and then I had two hands to one. So that's another way that we can use biting. It doesn't have to be into flesh necessarily. We can use it as a restrictive fashion as well, just like a dog hanging on, just like that Malinois, you know, who gets a hold and doesn't let you go. So these are just different avenues. It's thinking out of the box in order to win. Anything in order to win. And that's what it's about. Have a great day, guys. I thank you very much for your time. I always do. I love teaching you. Have a great day.